and like that's why I'm doing this and not as a hobby. So I get that, but I just like hate to think about that.
Yeah, play that back.
Move hands like that.
He's wog.
Talk with our
Let him do his thing.
talk with our hands and stroke beards and do stuff. But what we like to do is give people a little bit of, like some information. And obviously you've dropped a whole bunch of knowledge bombs today, which thank you very much. But one I really wanted to get into with you because like with the Sweet and the Spice, the rollout for the EP was quite quick for what I would normally tell clients that I work with for releasing. So I wanted to talk a bit about how you sort of went about with that sort of structure, and also do you tailor your release plan to each project or each thing that you release, or like what's your like base strategy and things like that?
Yeah, it's such a different process for every artist. It's like a very unique. I feel like the word strategy almost annoys me sometimes because I'm such a purist with the art. Like I know that there is a strategy because obviously it's like a business and you have to commodify the art
100%.
and like that's why I'm doing this and not as a hobby. So I get that, but I just like hate to think about that. So it kind of comes last, and I feel like if you work from the gut and you do things the way that you feel like they're meant to be, then it's just going to work the best in like the outside world naturally. So and it also depends, for different bodies of work of mine, I've released different ways and at different like timing intervals. But for this particular body of work, because COVID happened, it was kind of a reaction to the time. So it was very spontaneous and like very reactive, and I didn't want to overthink it. I just wanted to put it out. I make so much music as well. I'm always writing. And so for me, like I'm just always creating. So I like to release it in real time as well. I don't want fans to have to wait a year to hear what happened to me a year ago because it's no longer relevant. And I don't have the same desire to promote it in a way that I would if it's fresh and just has rolled off my tongue like the month before. So I like to keep things super quick. And like I have another project out, like another whole project out in a month, or like less, the beginnings of that project we're going to start to roll out. So it's just, I have to work that fast because I want to release all this music. It would just break my heart if it was all sitting in my iTunes freaking library forever and it never got released. And I feel also like people's attention spans suck, like I said earlier. So to keep people entertained, and especially when you're not competing, but when there's so many other artists doing their thing and there's so much music coming out, you have to like almost flood the market. Like you have to be giving people content, like you have to give. And but then that's just what works for me. I've seen artists who are super measured and release a song every 3 months and it leads up to a project and like they do everything's very set and calculated, and that's sick and it works for them and that's the way they like to do things. But I'm much more spontaneous and I just like love music and want it out, and I just do what I feel, and I'm just like passionate and a bit all over the place. So that's how it manifests for me. But
because I mean obviously we also want to give people listening a bit more of like the behind the scenes as well. And you're signed, which is fucking awesome. And like a lot of artists aspire to be signed. Obviously there's a lot of freak out stories you hear about, like, labels stopping people from releasing whatever. They have like their own strategy that you must adhere to. It sounds like you're doing your strategy that you like and it's like just pumping stuff out. How have they been with that, which is like the non sort of way that we usually hear, which is like, song every 6 weeks or whatever it is. Like it seems like you've just gone flat and this is what I want to do. Yeah. How are they with like that, and what was the collaborative process between them and yourself?
Yeah, I feel like labels have evolved and they understand the idea that you have to listen to an artist in order to get the best result. I feel like, obviously they're a business and their interest is, like they're financially motivated, but at the same time, like if you pitch it to them in a way that is enticing and like, you explain to them how it would work. I mean, obviously I say that I don't care about strategy, but I'm not just out here like flicking my songs out without 100%. Care. Like I'm thought out. I just do it in a way that works for me. I make, passion is at the forefront and then strategy like obviously works its way in, but I make the strategy work for me, not vice versa. Yeah. It's not like these rigid rules and I plan everything around it. It's like macro, not, So with the label, I've just been lucky that they like trusted me, and I made things kind of like, me and my manager are pretty onto everything, and she's amazing and super organized. So we just kind of made things work, and we made it easy for them too. And I just expressed that it's something that I really wanted to do, and they're lovely, and they would just like go for it. And I
Yeah.
think you just have to sign with people that wouldn't stop you. You know, you have to get to know them, and you have to be on terms before you sign, so that you don't get
Yeah,
fucked
sure.
over.
So there's a responsibility for you or the artist to also communicate back to them.
For sure, yeah. I mean, you can't go do whatever. When you're signed to a label, obviously they fund a lot of stuff. So you have to not answer to them, but it's actually not even in a business sense, but I personally like to take into consideration how it's going to affect them as well, because they're investing belief and time and money into me. So it's out of respect as well,
Yeah.
to communicate with them and have a nice relationship with them anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was super lucky in that they just were down. And I think like the times were unprecedented, so there was nothing for them to go off either. It's not
Yeah.
like they've ever
Yeah, we haven't
experienced
played this
releasing
before.
music in a pandemic either. Yeah.
Yeah,
So like
100%.
and I think that was also the selling point, was like, this is an unprecedented, these are uncharted territories. So
And they're happy to experiment.
yeah, like let's experiment, let's navigate. And I was able to make it work, you know, like in a package deal for them that they were happy with, and then that's how it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
Mm.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
That's good. That's because I think it's like communication is such an important thing. I
Yeah.
mean, we'll talk about this in this podcast, and that's cool that you've got that experience with that the label, because I think we only hear the horror stories, and then if we see the success stories, we still see the success stories with the horror stories behind. So it's nice that I think people need to hear more of that, and also appreciate, like you do, you appreciate there is a business side of it, because unfortunately without the backing from the label, you can't do music like, I mean, as
Or
much
as
as like
much,
as much.
Yeah, you can't kid yourself. That's the thing. Like obviously, there are like not complications, but there are things when you deal with people and you're working as a part of a team. Obviously, there are going to be disagreements and hiccups and like a little bit of turbulence, but you have to expect that, and you have to know how to navigate it and compromise without compromising it as an artist.
Yeah.
That's something that I'm not really willing to do at this point, is compromise the art, and they're happy with that. So it works.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed that clip. Make sure to hit that like button right now, because when you do, it has been scientifically proven that you will grow an extra inch on your big finger. See you later. Didn't think that was going that way, did you?
No, not at all.